My dear fellow listeners and viewers, good evening once again, and welcome to another edition of the Dr. Narine Dat Show. The whole idea of the Dr. Narine Dat Show is to create a safe space for positive energy and mutual respect. Tonight, our guest is no other than Ashaay, who we've had before. He is officially an Activision Hall of Fame award, and tonight we have him on, obviously, to continue the conversation where he left off, because obviously we have had him here more than once, and so he has lots to offer, lots to share. He has lots happening, and so we want to make sure that we take the time to share all of that with you. So Ashay, welcome to the show. How are you doing this evening?
Hi, good evening, Doctor. I'm doing okay. It's so nice of you to recognize me for that award. I really, really appreciate it. I'm very grateful for it. In life, we do stuff, and it's nice to know sometimes when things are resonating. So I'm doing okay. It's a little bit drizzly, rainy here in South Florida today,
Oh yeah.
but I love it nevertheless. It's Sunday evening, and again, it's a pleasure to join you this evening to chat.
All right, and it's a pleasure to have you on here. You want you to know that. Looking outside, we still have bright sun here, so that's a beautiful thing. Not bad weather for October, right? That's for sure. So let's get right into it. But before we do that, I want to be mindful that we do have, new listeners and viewers tuning in from time to time. So take a minute or so, kind of reintroduce yourself, at least highlight a few things about you, and then we will get right into things and we'll take it from there.
Sure. Thank you for that opportunity again. My name is Ashay Manu. I was born in Trinidad and Tobago. I migrated to Canada, I want to say at the age of 16, then eventually moved to Florida, where I now reside here, and I do all my music and stuff. I grew up in a beautiful nuclear home with my mom and my dad being my heroes. They taught us really well to respect everyone, and they taught us values that I know kind of use today to make myself a better person. Fortunately, I was born right next to literally 100 feet from a playground. So I was immersed in sports. And coming from a musical family, my dad and his brothers and the professional musicians, we were, of course, driven by, going to all the events Dad used to go to. And we grew up in that. And I think that it's in my DNA for the singing. So, got interested as I heard certain genres of music growing up in the 80s and stuff. Started doing like ballads and rock, and then the great Kumar Sanu came along and did some of his songs, and people appreciated it, and they encouraged me to go further with it, and that's me in a nutshell. Now I'm probably here living in South Florida and doing my music, and a lot's been happening since we last spoke, Doctor.
Awesome, awesome, good. It looks like you're a proud American because I can see that American flag floating behind you
Oh,
there,
you see that? Oh,
proudly.
yes, I am. Yes, I am.
That's awesome. Good stuff. All right. So, I mean, before we get into anything else, do know that you have a lot of fans here in Canada. I'm a fan of yours. You are very good in what you do, not only the musical aspect of thing, overall as an individual, and we will get to know and hear more of that. As you know, our show here is not a musical show per se. It is very diverse, right? So we have had politicians, we have, ordinary people. You have people who go above and beyond, like yourself. That's one of the reasons why we honor you with a prestigious Activision Hall of Fame award. And I want to talk a little bit about this because there might be folks who are not too clear, don't know much about it. So this is very different than what George Singh does. I want you to know it is very prestigious. It is very, we have been doing this for over 2 decades. So this is not given to anybody anyhow and those type of things. So do know that it's very prestigious. And I myself, I'm very decorated. I understand the importance of it. I understand the ethical pieces behind it and so forth. And so do know that you were one of the chosen ones. And so now I want to officially give you an opportunity to respond in terms of, how does it feel really to be recognized for the work, and not only the musical piece, but other stuff that you've kind of done as well too as an individual. How does it feel to really be recognized for the work that you've been doing over the years?
Well, Doctor, first of all, it's an honor to be recognized by you and your team because, as you mentioned briefly, that you are very decorated. You're very qualified. You're very decorated. You've been doing this for over 20 years now, and you've been very, very prolific in what you do. Um, I think we share common values in the sense of trying to make the place a better place. Because every time you turn on different platforms, you always see a lot of negativity. And positivity starts from an individual. And that basically comes from, it starts from the home, you know what I mean? It starts from the home and from having your mom and your dad teach you certain things and instill those values. Because that's where the nuclear home is very, very important. Because what you learn at home, because there's a lot of things that happen behind closed doors that kind of like exposes the individual as they get older. So we have to be very mindful of what we teach in our home, because kids, certain things they hear that you tell them, and certain things they hear what you don't tell them resonates in their mind. And they go out with that mind and that thought process, and they share it with the world. And the people you engage yourself with, that's who you tend to become with. That's why in my life, like being awarded this award, again, I say I couldn't be more grateful for it. It's not, I don't do things to receive things. I do things because my purpose is to try to change the world. And the people I interact with, I get that response from them because I meet people and I like to see the best in people. It's something with me. I like if you're dealing in a group or you're dealing in an association or a culture, I want to make sure that I'm an asset to that team, to the purpose. I want to add something to it. And by adding to it, I want to make sure that we all have the same values and that we could come together like a team and be positive and try to push everyone. Like you see someone doing something, you push them. I always talk about this. Like I'm known for my music. I'm known for my singing, for my voice. And I use that to kind of like, I don't talk too much, about, I talk mostly about exercise and stuff, but I'll get to that in a while. But I'm using this platform to want to change the world, to want to bring love to the culture, because there's a lot of things that people say and people post that behind the scenes, it's not actual. And we have to be real in order for us to make something great, because we can't preach one thing and do another. So that's why, like, anybody that releases, let's talk music, anybody that releases a song, regardless of how the song comes out, it may be a #1 hit. It may not. It may take a while before it resonates and become a #1 hit. I like to cheer them on because it's an additional to the culture. And no one person is the same, like DNA. Our DNA are all different, except, of course, you're a twin or whatever the case may be. And my goal is I get a lot of phone calls and a lot of messages, how do I become a singer? How do I do this? And I put them on to the producers because I listen to them and I kind of like know what they are looking for. And I put them on to the producers and stuff, and they move on and they do stuff and they become a star. They become famous. But it's not going to happen all the time because this thing requires a lot of dedication, determination, integrity, hard work. Discipline is the #1, and respect. And sometimes, we may give all those things and we may not receive it back. But the most important thing, we are doing our part. So to put everything into one, the award that you awarded me, I am very grateful for that because it gives me the encouragement to want to go and do more. That kind of thing. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that. And we presented that because it was very well, obviously deserving. But we also, I'm also happy to hear that you also, appreciate, being recognized because you brought up a good point. It really, at the end of the day, it highlights, the great work people have been doing, and you are a perfect example. But also, it really gives you that extra energy to continue doing
Yes,
what
sir.
you love, right? There's no question about that. So that's awesome. That's a beautiful thing. So listen, when you left here, we talked about so many different things. I'm referring to when you were on here last time. You were one of the first handful of people we have had on our show when we rebrand our show from Let's Chit Chat with Narine Dat to the Dr. Narine Dat Show. A lot obviously has happened over the months. Share some, as to, share, this is a safe space, as I mentioned earlier. My question to you, what has been happening? What are some of the things you've been working on? What are some of the things you've accomplished, during those times?
So, Doctor, thank you for that question because when you started this new part of your show, it was in January, and I think I was, if not the first the person that came on. And I professed something. I was like, it's 2025 and this year is going to be great. And I projected certain things. And what is so amazing is that, so what, we like, what, 9 months, well, 10 months in right now,
Hmm.
we're 10 months
Hmm.
in the year. So much has happened. I went ahead right after I did the interview with you and I released a song that I did. It was a dream for me to do something in Times Square. Because I grew up looking at all the everything, a lot of things happening in New York. As I say, New York to me is the Big Apple is one of the best places that I could think of and dream of. The New York
Hmm.
I know and that I
Hmm.
knew, and my dream was to do a music video with a nice song in Times Square. And I my videographer is Naresh Singh. He lives in New York. His mom is actually celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday to your mom,
Oh, wow.
Naresh. She's an amazing mother. And I spoke to Naresh, and Naresh is a guy. He has so much experience. He migrated here, I want to say about 15, 20 years ago. But he did videography and other things pertaining to that business back in Guyana. He's
Hmm.
well known. And he used all his experience and he put it now where he's in so much demand. He's doing all these videos for everyone. So I spoke to Naresh, and Naresh said, Ashay, you tell me what you want. Send me some ideas and this and that. And it was so he made it happen. You wouldn't believe. So I came in January and it was frigid, doctor.
Oh,
You live
wow.
in Toronto,
Yeah.
I live in Toronto a little bit. And I'm always a guy into fitness. And in Florida, you live in, we don't get that cold here. We get like, sometimes we go down in the 40s, 39 or something, but that's like one weekend or so. But I grew up in Canada and I kind of forget how really cold it was. And but that morning, because we started filming like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't finish till like 1 in the morning. We didn't finish like 4 o'clock in the morning. And our plans were to do two videos, but it was too late to do the next one. And the temperatures was like I want to say close to freezing.
Oh,
And
wow.
he was so positive. He never compromised his time. And he made this video came out, and the song was Dil Ji God. It went ahead and it became very, very popular. And that was one of the things that was accomplished. So again, as much as I could sit here and I could say, I've done so many things, everything is based on the team. My Team Ashe, they call it. We have Teddy Ali. We have all those guys. We have fantastic bass. Kevin Bass, all those guys. We have Sean Bass. We have all those guys part of the team. So that was a success story, and we couldn't make the other because I had a show that weekend. I tried to do things, and I had another show the next weekend. So we said we'll do the video the other weekend. So I came in and did the same thing again. It was cold and it was oh my gosh, and we did that. Came back to Florida, and there was this businessman. His name is he Bling Bling Jewelries. Yes, Stephen
Mhm.
Adventures.
Mhm.
Stephen. He called me and he hired me to do a private job for his 50th birthday party. And he started talking to me and stuff. And he kind of like, he liked what he heard and stuff. And he said, Ashay, he called me one day and he's like, I want to do a video. I want to do a video with my business and this and that. And that is the song. I did this song now with Jwala from Holland, from Suriname, sorry. And that song was made today. And we did that video in the, I want to say, like the Everglades kind of thing with the
Mhm.
alligators and stuff. And he did that video, and that turned out to be a really, really nice. So that was the second project.
Mhm.
That was actually the third project we did. And then I got awarded by Chutney Storm Radio in New York.
Mhm.
I won the voting for the King, Bollywood King, because they do a lot of different kinds of music, Chutney and this and the
Mhm.
award. So for the voting and stuff. And there was another project that I did, Dillagi. So I've done 4 projects for this
Oh,
year already. I mean, this year has been concluded. And I started another project, which I have to jump on, and that's with Maha Studios, Rishi Mahatu in Trinidad and Tobago. So I want to say so much, and that's just with the music. That's just for the music. I have so I don't talk much about my business. I'm into logistics business. I've been in
mhm.
it for 19 years now
Oh, wow.
in South Florida. I do basically in South Florida. However, for the pandemic, we had the special permits to essential workers to do deliveries like out of state. So I went to like Georgia and Atlanta and New York and those places, delivering machines and that kind of stuff. And yeah, so my business, and I picked up a couple new contracts and stuff, but I don't talk much about it because the minute I start advertising a business, people start calling. I hate to say no to them because I'm so committed to what I do because in logistics, time is a factor and the world is
Mhm.
run on logistics.
Mhm.
And sometimes we have ultrasound machines that has to be in Cincinnati by a certain time and we can't miss that. So you can't afford to commit yourself and
Mhm.
derail your mental thing towards that with other things.
Mhm.
So I am just now, I've got 2 more contracts and stuff. So with my business, I'm very comfortable. So I want to say 2025 has thus far has been one of the most accomplished years. Of course, it took
Yeah.
a lot of years to reach this point because as we always say, failure is a good thing. But failure could be minute or it could be very, very big. It could be huge. And a simple thing as not making a deadline for me is a failure. Sometimes I can't sleep in the night when I process it. I have to process it and figure out where I went wrong. And I'm a very
Mhm.
meticulous person.
Mhm.
Some people say that I'm a perfectionist, but I believe we all should be that way. We shouldn't try to be, we should strive for perfection. We should try to be the best because you remember when you shine, when you do your best, there's always someone that looking at you. And there's always somebody that wants to take something away from you. So time is my number one thing. So thanks to God and thanks to sometimes God send angels in your life, man. And you walk your life that change the directions that you're going. You got to listen to them. And they tell you the best things. Thanks to my family, thanks to those angels that come along and guide you in the perfect way because nothing happens by just fault or anything like that. Because if you think of the human body, how it works, it's amazing. For example, for an organ like your kidney, what it does to your body, how it balances the sodium. Or, you want to tell me that God didn't create that? So thank you to the good Lord for giving me the health and strength and to be here today to discuss these things. There's so I can go on, but to keep it and to answer your question, since we last spoke, I've really, really dedicated myself genuinely, respectfully, and I took everything one step at a time. So it's like one job as I'm doing this here now, nothing else matters. I take care of this, I give it my best, we complete it, we sign off on it, and we move to the next project. So this year, thus far has been amazing. Thank you, Doctor.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. I just want to make a quick correction here, just in case people think I'm giving them wrong information here. So I actually live in Kitchener, not Toronto, but I work in Toronto.
Okay, okay,
No, and
okay.
that's okay. That's okay. Because you live in Florida, Toronto, Kitchener is the same for you, right?
Well, no, I
So,
know Kitchener. I know.
yeah,
I used to live in
okay.
Rexdale, Toronto.
Oh,
Rexdale,
okay.
Etobicoke, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So I live in Kitchener. It's about an hour, 50 minutes.
Yes,
So
it is.
I do a lot of remote work. But from time to time I do go to Toronto when there's a need to and whatnot kind of thing. So I like the busyness to tell you the truth. I
Yeah.
intentionally accepted that role so that I can drive and kind of get into that mess in terms of the traffic and so forth. It's good for my mental health actually. I because I work too much, virtually and remotely and all of that. So
Nice. I
I
know
guess
that.
yeah, I just want folks to know that I kind of live in Kitchener, but I'm looking forward to see folks in Toronto on I believe December the 6th. There's an event happening there. I'll be part of that event. I'll be emceeing that event there. So
Awesome.
I want folks to that date open. As time gets closer, we'll give you the specific and so forth, or you can check my Facebook page for that information. Before we continue on with you, I want to acknowledge a few people here. That's okay. I want to give a special hello to Dolly. I hope that you are doing well. We've had Dolly on the show a couple of weeks ago as well too. She also will be at that event on December the 6th. I want to give a special hello to Lobita as well for taking the time to tune in here. Special thank you to Leon for always sharing our page. He makes it a priority to do that. We appreciate that. Says, thank you, a good friend of mine, a former co-worker of mine, and I mean, many of you, I'm not able to see everybody on here depending on where I'm looking and whatnot, but do know we appreciate all of you watching and listening. We encourage you to take the opportunity to share our page. You do know that there are a few different ways to listen to us. You can listen to us on a regular dial, that's the radio, 102.7 CKMS FM. You can listen to us on Rogers digital cable as well, for those of you who have the Rogers digital box. And of course, we are live streaming our interview here on social media. And so this is where people hang with a lot, you know? So we kind of do that as well too. So Ashay, when you were speaking, you brought up two important pieces, and I want you to kind of share with us some reflection here. And so you mentioned that the key thing, you know, as you were were growing up, is discipline and respect. And I have to agree with you, right? We have to without these things, we really cannot be successful in the things we do, regardless of what those things are. Where do you think you have that kind of discipline from? Where did that came from?
Definitely came from my parents. It started from my parents. They instilled that into us. I have a brother and I have a sister. They're very successful. My dad, okay. So my dad is my hero. And growing up, my dad, I want to say he started with the telephone company in Trinidad and Tobago as an electrician, right? And every Thursday, dad would come home late. And we young, we growing up, we young, you don't know, but you're glad when your dad come home late because, daddy used to always be on, we got to be doing our homework. And we came from a very, very academically inclined family. And all of them were musicians and stuff, his brothers and stuff. And he wanted us to carry that trait, So, every Thursdays, we playing football in the savannah a little bit later and stuff. We know dad is not coming home till probably 9 o'clock in the night. Only to find out that every Thursday after work, my dad would go, he was doing an engineering degree. And, he became, after he got his degree and stuff and qualified, and he moved up in his job as an electrical engineer in telco. And as I got older and I could recognize these things, and these things meant something to me, I decided, look at the discipline he had. My dad is a person, he never drank and smoked and did drugs and stuff. So our home were very clear from those. Our family on the whole, of course, they would drink. Some of them would drink and stuff and, when we hanging out and stuff. But never, dad always taught us, to do sports. Because he always said that sports develops your mind. So discipline comes from a whole bunch of different things. It doesn't just come just like that. But of course, as I say, it starts from the home. And with me growing up and always being in the gym, always playing football, always have mentors, always looking at, I want to be like Maradona. I want to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I want to be like this one. So you look at these guys, and one of the things that are published from these guys are the best of what they do. Because nobody publishes, negativities and that kind of stuff. And you will see all these things. And you couldn't go drinking all night and come back the next day, or do drugs all night and come back the next day and be as 100% optimal as you are. So that was one of the things that I realized that you have to be optimal in your mind, and your brain has to be in a ready state to be able to do something, for everything to resonate, in your frontal lobe and all that kind of stuff, to memorize and absorb all these things. You can't be like halfway like this. So discipline came from my whole bringing up. And as I got older and I had to now fend for myself and became, somebody that now has to provide, you see that where back then you could have do those things. Now, hey, if you do those things, there are consequences. So to be successful in life, I believe, again, these are all my opinions because I practice these things. To be successful in life, you have to have a strong mindset. You have to understand what you're doing and why was the reason. Why am I doing this? Because every action has a consequence. And if we think about the consequences of our actions, we may not do it. Because anger and happiness and all these things are emotions, and we react on those things. But if we give ourselves, and life is a learning experience, if we give ourselves a chance to say, you know what, if I go and do this, I might end up, if I drink alcohol and I go driving, this is America. I might get a DUI and this is going to affect my logistics business. And then I wouldn't be able to provide for my home and a whole bunch of stuff. So that is how, again, it was instilled from the experience of life. And respect is something that you cannot just get. You can't formulate. It has to be something within. And if somebody shows you that respect, and then you'd give it back to them. One of the things that I use that helps me in my everyday life, doctor, is that I greet people with respect and laughter and smile and energy. And that is 80% of the job done already. When you welcome, when somebody can feel that love, like, hey, how you doing, sir? How you doing, man? You having a good day today? That alone, how are you? How's your family? As we say here in Miami, familia, how you doing, your
Mhm.
family. And when you touch into that, when you ask someone about their family, doctor, it shows that you care. And coming in a nice level with that individual, you surpass all the other things okay, so I wonder if this is gonna be good. He thinking, I wonder what kind of guy this is. This guy just asked me about my family. Nobody asked me about that. So, and I genuinely mean, how's your family? Because if your family are okay, then you will definitely be okay. So discipline and respect, we need these two things in order to be comfortable and fold our arms and smile in life.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. One thing I can tell you, and I mean this genuinely, I want you to know this. Um, in your correspondence to me, whether that be through messenger or voicemail or whatever the case may be, it is very professional, I have to say. And for me, that's important because I'm all about good customer service as well too, right? And so for me, when I go somewhere, I always come back and I reflect, and I always say to my wife, I can't believe that they didn't even say hello to me, Like these are the kind of things I used to, like this is important to me. So for example, where I live, I have a pharmacist in front of me and I have a pharmacist just beside me, but I do not go to those pharmacists. I drive rather, and I go elsewhere. And the reason for that is because I get really good customer service there. And in fact, I took the time one day and I shared it with the pharmacist. I said, just so you know, I can walk like 30 seconds and get exactly the same product. But I decided to come here because of the good customer service. The guy, he could not believe what I was saying to him. But I guess what I'm trying to say to you here is what you said is correct. It makes a lot of sense. And I can tell you for sure is that you seems to be putting that into like daily practice. You kind of incorporate that into your daily lives, which is a beautiful thing. It's
Thank
good
you.
for business as well too. I want you to know that it's good for business as well too, but it's also good, that human connection is so important. I don't think people realize how important that is. And it really makes a difference. That I can tell you. And I have a problem when I'm not, seeing that. I tell you that for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So thank you for that. Thank you for
Thank you.
kind of even, take the time to share that with us. I mean, that's that, not I think that is important. And I recognize that in you, right? And that's important for sure. And there's a reason why, by the way, why we've invited you so many times to be on this show as well, too, right? Because as you mentioned earlier, and I think you've hit it on the nail, we have a lot of things in common in terms of the things that we do, not necessarily like the musical aspect of things, but we have the same kind of mentality, mindset, and so forth when it comes to people. And so That's one of the reasons, by the way, we've kind of, invited you, and
Thank you.
we always appreciate when you know, you know, um, take our offer and stick with the plan as well too, right? I do have a lot of last minute cancellation too, and so forth, right?
Yeah,
Which can be a pain as well too, because as you know, these things you plan, you prepare,
yeah.
and then when you have like that last minute cancellation, that's not a good thing, it's not punctual, But anyways, so that is great, that is awesome. And so I mean, I don't want to, yes, when you were here last time, we talked a lot about a musical piece, and we feature a few songs of yours and so forth. But you were very keen when it comes to like, that exercising piece. I know you do other stuff as well too, but you take this seriously. Last time when you were here, you share with us that, you know what, look, if you're going somewhere and you have a few minutes to spare, you use that time to do push-ups and so forth,
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Tell us about that, because for me it connects to what you've just said about that discipline, because these things it takes a lot of discipline to do all of that, right? And besides, it's good for you physically and mentally and so many other things, right? But doing it is the hardest thing, as you would know. Tell us about that. What keeps you motivated, for example, to keep going, all of these things.
Okay, doctor. Thank you. So first of all, you got to be motivated by something. And what creates the premise of everything is your mindset.
Mhm.
Once you have that mindset, but that is something that has to come with a lot of work. And one of the things that develops one's mindset is exercise. Because if we look at our brain and we look at our body, it produces a lot of different enzymes and hormones that does different things to make everything work good. But let's talk about the brain. What exercise does, for example, you eat a piece of chocolate and you're like, damn, you feel good and you're good and whatever, and you're happy and stuff. But chocolate now is going to stimulate a bunch of glucose in your blood and insulin and all that kind of stuff is going to happen. But when you exercise, it stimulates endorphins, and one of those endorphins are called dopamine. And dopamine is a good feel hormone. And once you continue exercising, when you finish exercising, those hormones, they stay in your brain and they bounce around in your brain and they just leave you in a really, really good mood.
Mhm.
So when you wake up, like let me give you an example, a small example, a short example. So I am a very, I like to challenge myself. So I want to say about 3 years ago, I said, I just got into Facebook and my thing was exercise. But yes, I could sing some songs and stuff, and I sang a couple of songs. But people more went with the songs; they wasn't into too
Mhm.
much into the exercise. But one of the things that I jumped on, and I put a post. I said, you know what? Hey guys, 3 a.m. in the morning, tune in to me. I'll be doing 1,000 push-ups, and I posted that because if you post something, you're obligated to it, right?
Mhm.
So the long story short, I'm like, because I was really into my exercise and stuff before I jumped into music. And then the music kind of took up my time and I put on weight and I lost myself with that because all the shows and stuff. So I woke up like 2:30, and when I woke up, I came outside, set myself. I'm like, did I really say that? Did I really do that? Did I really post that? Because I've been doing push-ups all my time. I have a couple of shows I've done with like Kevin Bass and those guys, like Kumar
Mhm.
Tulsi from Ohio and those guys. When we finish and we going up back to the hotel, I say, guys, pull the car over. And I just go and I just do like 50 push-ups. We having fun. That's why we're having fun, you know what I mean? So I know I was capable of doing a bunch of push-ups. Like my PR, my personal record was 71 push-ups in one trial. So I woke up that morning and I started doing it. And I started doing it and I did increments of 20s, like 20 by 20 and this and that. And I actually accomplished 1,000 push-ups in 1 hour and 58 seconds. And I have a video that shows it. I sent it to John from Queens. John is a very, very great
Who's
guy
watching
who,
right now, by the way?
oh yes, John. John is responsible for everything that I do right now because when I first wanted to get into the music business, John is a family friend. We are friends from like 20 something years ago. His wife and my wife are best friends. And John and I, so John is the one that did the video for me because he compressed it because it was too long. And I did 1,000 push-ups in 1 hour and 50. I was it reached the point where all my glycogen and stuff was burnt out, and I was kind of like not hallucinating, but I was airy a little bit. But I did it. So all of those things created a strong mindset for me. That's why when I have when I have challenge, like right now I bought myself a 20-pound weight vest.
Mhm.
And during the day I move around with that. My sometimes my job can be very, very tedious. And I do it with that. I work out with it. I do my sprinting because sprinting is something that is amazing. Exercise on the whole. When I
Mhm.
finish, doctor, I feel like if I'm real high, I can take on the world.
Mhm.
So nothing happens without a strong mindset. When you develop that, when you go through those challenges, because a lot of times you really are what you do when nobody's looking. That's who you are as an individual. What we post, we may take about 5 takes to post that, to get the correct shot, correct lighting, the correct. But what you do, like my gym, I'm right now in my music room right now. I open all the windows, my Florida room, and I can hear the rain falling on top here, and it's so beautiful with the wind. It's so beautiful. But what gives you this? Because when you do stuff like that, like doing 1,000 push-ups in that time, I did it in 3 o'clock in the morning because I had people who chimed in. I was like, be careful," and I did it. And I didn't care what was going to happen. But when you do those things, then when you're faced with certain challenges in your life, like what? Like a worker doesn't come to work today, or your truck broke down, or this one have this. Those are nothing compared to what you built your mind in, what the foundation you put in your mind. So everything starts with your mindset. And if you can visualize something, that's what I did. I visualize me doing those push-ups. And I'm using this not to jump on it all the time,
Mhm.
as
Mhm.
an example, as a metaphor to what I'm trying to explain here. So you live easy today, your life is going to be hard tomorrow. You live hard today in terms of like exercise and certain things that you have to do, your life is going to be easy tomorrow. And we could change that mindset because if we sit down on the couch and we keep watching Netflix and putting in a bunch of donuts and rice and everything we eating, then this is going to see this is flat right now.
Mhm.
I'm proud to say when I did my one of my first videos, Tana Huddle, my stomach was all yeah, and it wasn't like that before I jumped into music. But the music, got me. And I hear the word busy. Busy is a great thing. Could you imagine not being busy? Then if you're not busy, your life doesn't really mean anything. And we all were born with a talent. All of us, each one of us. And we need to dig in and find that talent and work it with a passion. And that talent is going to set us free. Because right now I'm molding myself so that one day that I don't look back and say that I wish I'd done this. I wish I did this. I wish I did that. I want to do everything that I can do, but everything starts with the mindset. And my mindset is developed from having a healthy body per se. You learn from your mistakes. Again, mistakes are not something that's bad. Mistakes actually makes you better. And if the new generation can learn from our mistakes, if we can come here and we can talk the actual thing that happened so that the young generation, the people that are looking at us can say, he did this. And when I started singing, I wasn't as good as I am today because your larynx is a muscle. You have to develop that. And like anything, if I build my biceps to 17 inches or 18 inches and I don't work it out for the next couple of months, it's going to go back down to 15. So your muscle in your throat, you sing while you're driving, you sing while you're in your, don't just sing. You find out certain little things like notes and stuff that you can
Mhm.
continue to do. And you develop that muscle here. So when you go and you pull a note, you continuously do it, and you become better than that, better at it. Don't wait till you have a gig or something like that. Because everybody, and then when you exercise, the benefit is you look good, your clothes fit you good. You are the star of a show. You want to be impressive. A lot of people today, doctor, with all due respect, in this business, they go on stage and they put on the music and they don't sing. Could you imagine me going to a Kumar Sanu show and hear Kumar Sanu miming? Because it takes a lot to sing. I mean, Kumar Sanu turned 68 years old and he's still doing shows. He's not as active as he used to be on stage, back in the day, because we all reached that point. But if we exercise, and we understand why we exercise and what kind of exercise to do, we'll be able to go on stage and jump and still sing. It's not easy to sing and jump and yo my people, that kind of thing. But you have to do it because people are coming to see you, and so let's do the right thing. Let's sing for the people. Everybody have their ways of doing stuff. I'm not challenging them, but this is just me. I sing for my people. And yeah, that's it. Mindset creates a smile and joy.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I don't want to put you in a spot here, and you don't have to take my offer here, but are you able to do like a little like a cappella rap piece there?
Of any
Oh,
song per se.
anything of yours. Absolutely. You have a gifted voice, by the way. You don't need any kind of thing there. You don't have to take the offer, but I think if you do that would be great.
Sure, sure. I would love
Speaking
to.
of challenge and speaking of,
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Let me think of a nice okay.
A Kumar Sanu one will be good.
तुम्हारी
Or okay.
रात ढल चुकी ना जाने तुम कब होगे जहां की रुत बदल चुकी ना जाने तुम कब आओगे सुहानी रात ढल चुकी ना जाने तुम कब आओगे.
Thank you. And thank you for taking, the offer there. And so that's an example, and this is more for the viewers and people who were listening as well too. This is a perfect example of raw good talent. Amazing. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
You
You're
didn't
welcome.
need that special mic to filter anything and whatnot. So that's awesome. Good stuff. So I mean, with no question, you have lots of energy. You have the passion, to do what you do, which is awesome. I'm happy for you that things are going well. Business-wise as well too. That's always a beautiful thing. Right? Because at the end of the day, when we're doing something, we want to see good result. We want to grow all of that, right? So that's awesome. What can we expect from Ashay, within the next 6 months, within the next year?
I was afraid you asked that question, but let me back up a little bit before I answer that
Sure,
question.
absolutely, absolutely.
I just did Dil Lagi. दिल लगी ने दी हवा थोड़ा सा दुआ और आग जल गई. And that song, I love that song, and I'm still promoting it. It's new. It's about probably I think 2 months or so on. So I try not to come because there's so much projects happening. I try
Hmm.
not to release something too soon.
Hmm.
But to answer your question, let's leave the suspense.
No, and that's fair. No, absolutely no,
Thank
that's
you,
fair.
Doctor. But I must say to all you loving people out there in Canada, Guyana, oh my gosh, Guyana believe in their Bollywood, man. The love I get from, oh my gosh, yes, and Trinidad and the US. Everything that I do, I love Bollywood because it's one of it's kind of like my temperament, love and
Hmm.
that kind of thing. Kumar Sanu, some of the best things were said. I have people who guide my way, and they tell me that that I remind them of Kumar Sanu, the voice of Kumar Sanu. You hear the thunder? You hear it?
A little bit. I heard a little bit
Yes,
of
yes,
thing
so
there. Oh
nice.
wow.
Yes, so I am very appreciative of that. However, Dada Sanu is my mentor. I've met him, and he told me a couple of things. And I love doing his music and his songs. I do the song the same way that he did it. Um, but I changed the vibes a little bit, make it a little exciting. And one of the songs, the Diljigad song that was done in Manhattan with the red jacket and the guitar and the whole place, Times Square lights up and the whole place
Hmm.
is red and 1 minute it's blue. Uh, that's a Kumar Sanu song. And
Hmm.
then I did the Meri Tada. Well, the Meri Tada song came out really good. Um, Devin Beats did the Dil Jigar, and we'll be hearing about Blue Fox did from Trinidad. He did an awesome job on the Dil Lagi. Um, and DJ Wala from Suriname, he did the Meri Tara, and that song is people, the feedback I get, because you do something and it's subjective. Sometimes you may think that you do the best work and it may not be received as because, we tend to do things that we like.
Yes,
and sometimes you do something that you like, the people may not feel the same, share the same opinion, and vice versa. You do something you think it didn't come out all that, but people love it. So, yeah, man, that's me there with singing the Kumar Sanu songs and loving it.
awesome. So what I'll do to give you a little breathing space there, I'll feature one of your song. I'll feature
Thank
one
you.
so that people can kind of listen to it. One of the most recent one, and then we are going to continue on. How with that? All right, folks. So here's a beautiful piece by our guest here, Ashaay. Enjoy.
Come on, let's dance. दिल लगी में दी हवा थोड़ा सा वाउदा और आग जल गई तेरी मेरी दोस्ती प्यार में बदल गई तेरी मेरी दोस्ती तेरी मेरी दोस्ती प्यार में बदल गई दिल लगी में दी हवा थोड़ा सा वाउदा और आग जल गई तेरी मेरी दोस्ती प्यार में बदल गई तेरी मेरी दोस्ती तेरी मेरी दोस्ती प्यार में बदल गई दिल लगी में दी हवा थोड़ा सा वाउदा और आग जल गई कौन दिलों के मेल में इस नजर से खेल में ऐसे दिल धड़क गया चोर दूर तक गया ऐसे दिल धड़क गया चोर दूर तक गया क्या ये खून माफ है ये कोई इंसाफ है आंखों खता कसूर जो ये दिल पे चल गई तेरी मेरी दोस्ती प्यार में बदल गई तेरी मेरी दोस्ती तेरी मेरी दोस्ती प्यार में बदल गई दिल लगी में दी हवा थोड़ा सा वाउदा और आग जल गई
So I'm just gonna pause it there. That's a little bit of a teaser. I didn't show the video for purpose for different reasons, but I just want people to at least have a little bit of an idea, a teaser. So do know though that the video it is available on YouTube. You can easily find it just by type in the name of our guest here, Ashaay, Manu, and it's gonna come up. So have no fear there at all. I mean, it's beautifully done. There's no question about that. I've seen it before. A lot of preparation I can see there. Very professionally done, like that's for sure, kind of thing, right? So that's awesome. Good. You've really, honestly, I'm hoping that you realize that you really have, a good life. Well, let me put it that way. Despite the fact that all of us, go through challenges in life from time to time, but as you mentioned earlier, when we have challenges in life, it's really an opportunity for us to kind of step back and figure out what's happening here. What is it that we need to do to make things better? Because when you think about it, at least that's how I view it. For me, being able to sing and sing well, this is just a specific example because we're talking about you here. I think it is such of a blessing because entertainment, yes, not everything has to be about entertainment and whatnot, but the fact that you have that gift it's a beautiful thing because I'm not sure if you fully understand that you really have a good voice. That I can tell you for sure.
Thank you, doctor.
It's I know about music, believe it or not. I understand music. I don't I don't sing in the public per se, but I understand music. Grew up with music, at the temple and all of those types of things, and I've kind of um that was kind of compulsory. Like I had to, take, music. I guess they, sometimes these university they want to make their program special, so sometimes they throw in one or two interesting credits there to kind of make it unique. So I had the opportunity to study music a little bit to kind of understand, and Bollywood music, as you mentioned, it's a unique and beautiful thing, and you've done it so well. So hope that you enjoy all of that as you continue to age. The good news with you is that you're sharing it with the world, even though people might not reach out to you and kind of letting you know. I can assure you, almost assure you that people are looking at those, those videos and say, "Oh my goodness, this is pretty cool. I want to be like that," right? Not uncommon, right? So you are making an impact. You are influencing people in so many different ways, and you will never know of it. I want you to know that. So just amazing.
What's important to me, doctor, is that I have my work to do. As I say, I want to be an advocate for greatness,
Mm-hmm.
and I like putting people first, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Once I do my job at 100%, I'm satisfied. As far as the prestige and the fame and stuff, it comes with it, and you have beautiful people, that encourages me, like, my fans and my friends and stuff, like the Asha Gopals and the Angelina. We have Yaz, we have all Mala Rampasa, we have all these guys, everybody, man, everybody that, forgive me, I didn't call everyone's name, that really, really makes a difference in my life. So I just do what I have to do. But one of the things that really jumps out to me is by me being the captain of my ship.
Mm-hmm.
And that statement may come across as arrogant, but it's actually not. And I say this to the young people, that when you dive into something and you're doing something, you don't just dive into it. You make sure you research what you want to do and you become good at what you want to do. And then you go do it to you, because there's a lot of opinions out there. And at one time, I used to think that I have to be validated by a lot of people, because I don't see myself as this, I see myself as humble. As I always say, I want to be this way.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be the one that looking up. I don't want to be the one that looking down. I'm grounded with myself. I'm very comfortable with myself. But when I go into an endeavor, I go into it knowing what I want to do. And I've learned this, I've done certain things where I had people dictate my pace and turn my whole story around, and I didn't get it the way that I want to. That's not saying that I'm not going to listen and put everything together and get the best out of it. But I became the captain of my ship, where I realized that once I see someone that is not giving 100% like I do, because the only way you get 100% results if you give 100%. And I started looking at the lifestyle of these people, and I realized that if I depend on these people to represent me and for my success, if I depend my success on these people, I don't think it's going to reach that far. Because I believe that you have to align yourself with successful people with values, people with discipline, with vigor, with grit, in order for you to get something. And if they don't share those same values like you move along then. You make decisions on your own based on what you see happening, because it doesn't just take going in the studio and doing a song or hiring a videographer. You remember, everybody you're dealing with, they have things to do and that kind of stuff. So you commit yourself to them and they commit themselves to you. So everybody should be in sync. And when you're doing a project, until it's completed and it's ready to be released, and this may go to all walks of life. sometimes it's good to just manifest it in your mind and do everything and get it done before you announce it. Because your mouth is a very, very important thing. When you voice something, you attest then. When you attest and you profess something, sometimes evil can hear it. You know, as the you know. And when I say that, you know, I even speak with theology. If you put
Yeah, no,
theology in there,
no, I hear you.
you know, yeah, you know, they say good things, you know, the Holy Spirit will listen to what you say, and sometimes the devil would listen to what you say.
Mhm.
So if you do everything and you try to keep the devil away by keeping it, you know, and make sure your team and everybody, and then you release it. Because if you talk certain things, the devil might take it and run with it and try to come at you. But again, it goes back to when your mindset is strong, nobody can win you.
Mhm.
So that's one of the things I want to share, you know, be strong. For everyone that's listening, we all have things that we have planned to do. Do it. Visualize it first. You already have the mindset, you know. Don't let it be delusional, you know. Bring that illusion, bring that delusional thing to a reality. See it. See how every block went to it to build it. And how many nails you put in before you go do it. And when you go to do that project, it's just gonna formulate like a fun. It's gonna be like a song. It's gonna be so enjoyable, you know. So it's hard to explain, doctor. It's really, really hard to explain how I say these things. It's easy for me to say, but to reach that point, it takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication into other things. Because if you wake up in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, your body produces cortisol. Cortisol.
Mhm.
That's an enzyme, a hormone that gives you the oomph. It's created so it raises, elevates everything in your body. So you wake up, you take a shower, and you're ready to take on the day. That's the physiology of your body. But if you wake up in the morning and you're lethargic and you're like, oh God, I can't do this. Oh my God. So how could you start your day like that? But these things, it has to come with one thing leading to our next. One thing leading to our next. And it starts with exercise, diet, and lifestyle. I know I always end up back at that point,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the reality of it, doctor. That's the reality of it.
Yeah. No, and you're speaking based on your experience because you've seen your own result as well too, right?
Yes.
Which is, yeah, for sure. You brought up something very interesting because I put up a post. I put up a post 3 days ago that says sometimes you have to keep your good news to yourself. Not everyone is genuinely happy for you. That was one of the posts I posted 3 days ago. I wanted you to know that. That's all. Because the reality is we're all different. We think differently. And sometimes we have to be mindful and make sure that you successfully complete, you know, your project or whatever your initiative happens to be before you kind of really get it out there. Because sometimes we don't put our checks in place and then it can come back to haunt us in different ways. So do know that. And this is for the audience and listeners and viewers as well too. So people to kind of think and start to kind of do things differently as well too, for sure. Yeah. So I mean, without any question, it looks like you have achieved a lot of things within a short period of time. But also at the beginning, you mentioned that though this year happens to be a really good year for you, you have made lots of sacrifice over the years, but by the looks of it, you're kind of reaping the fruit now, if I'm understanding you correctly, if I'm hearing you correctly. It looks like you've put in a lot of, you know, hard work over the years. You've stayed focused, as you kind of mentioned. You know, you keep that discipline thing going. Discipline mean that you stay focused really because you do what it takes to make sure you know you get the work done. As you mentioned, if for some reason you have to ship something, I'm referring to the business now, if you have to ship something and you realize, oh my goodness, you were late, it bothers you because you're thinking, how is it that you can make it different and better for next time? And those are all good behaviors to have, right? Because those kind of thinking and those kinds of pieces will allow you, or will make you a better version of you, which is awesome kind of thing. So that's awesome. Um, I am not sure how things shape up or how things are looking for you on your end. Earlier you mentioned there thunder and lightning and whatnot
It's
happening on your
raining
end.
more. You can
Is
hear
if
it.
if it's raining more. So we can be mindful of that as well too. So you can, go and take care of, whatever you need to take care of. But I want to make sure that I give you the opportunity to share any last minute thing you want to share. Do know that this stage is yours. You're not competing with anybody here. This is just you, Ashay. Do know that we appreciate you. Take the time, stay committed to be here. Speaking of discipline and being respectful, because you're being respectful of my time, my energy, and my everything else as well too. And so I respect and appreciate that. And the floor is yours. I have lots of support and I'm very flexible in the things I do, so I can carry on here like this is I have control here. Let me put it that
I
way.
know that.
And
I
it's
know
not a
that.
bad thing. So it's not a bad thing. I have control. Like we can continue on, we can pause. But I want to you to know this much. I want you to know that it will be an honor to have you back, every so often because you have lots to offer. So something to kind of keep in mind. So do know before the year up, there's a good possibility where we'll send you an invite to kind of join us again too. Hopefully that's possible. But as we are at it today, I want to give you that fair opportunity to share anything that you want to share before we kind of wrap it up as well. And sometimes we really have to keep people in suspense as well too, right? Because once you leave here, I'm hoping that people will take the opportunity to kind of check you out on YouTube, listen to those music, share it around, support you wherever you're performing. All of these types of things, they can support you in different ways. They can sponsor any sort of future project. There's so many different things, right? So take it away and anything else you want to share with us.
Sure, sure. Let's start with it, man. So we had all the nitty-gritties we spoke about and stuff. All the. So
Yeah.
I want to take this opportunity to invite all the new people who are thinking about getting into music, man.
Mm.
Because just like the greats were here and they moved on,
Mm-hmm.
we are going to move on too. And we need new people to come into the business.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say that this music business is such a beautiful space. It gives you joy. It gives you happiness. It gives you a chance to dress up, to work out, to look good, to be on a stage. When you're on a stage, it's amazing. It's amazing to have people enjoy your music. So guys, to all the young, not even young, man. I mean, I consider 70 years to be young. So anybody that wants to jump into the music, listen, if you have a talent, you guys can contact me. I'll put you onto the right people that I've had experiences with and bring out your talent. Because when you do a song and you produce a song and a music video, that stays with you. That stays with the world forever. We don't. So we start something. So music is so enjoyable. I want to say negativity is only about 10%. 80% is positivity in this business. And for us to keep our culture going, like everybody else is doing, we need to have the young people encourage the young people. One of my opinions, one of the things I share is that, growing up, you used to think that you have to take a drink to go on stage and perform and this and that. But one drink leads to a lot of things. A lot of people do it. I don't have a problem with it. But me, I have learned where I can be the best that I can without anything affecting my mindset. So you don't need to drink. You don't need to smoke. You don't need to snort. You don't need to inject yourself with anything to be the next star, to go on stage and produce something really nice that the people are going to love. So guys, if you're thinking about it and you're looking here, I'm cheering for you to have the next hit. Because you may be sitting down there living a normal life, being very good at everything you do, but when you go in the bathroom or you're driving, boy, I'm sounding good, boy. Because back in the day when I used to be singing in my music room, I would be hearing myself and I'm like, boy, that one sounded good. So yeah, boy, you tell yourself, you're sounding good. And so remember that Ashaay said that, listen, talk to a producer. They're going to tell you what you need to do. Find that song or they're going to find it for you. Find something that you are comfortable doing. Don't make anyone let you do something that's uncomfortable. And do it at your best and record it and bring it out there, man. and be happy, and you would look at that and that would encourage you to do other things. So that's what I want to leave with. But finally, I want to say special, special thank you to these people. First of all, Dr. Narine, may God continue to bless you and your family with great health and strength so that you would continue to bring people like Dolly and the other people that you brought in your show, myself, and let us share our experiences with other people so that they can see through us and learn from our experiences, because everyone's experience are going to be different. If we take one little thing away from one's experience, we can put it together and learn from the mistakes that people has made. We could put it together and we could not make those mistakes and become better. So I want to thank you, Dr. Narine. Continued success. I want to thank the man himself, Mr. Jason Babulal, who blindly sponsored all my music in the beginning. Jason Babulal. He's such an amazing, amazing guy. I want to thank Miss Samde Bachan Johnson. Oh my gosh, she is amazing. She's like South Florida's queen. She has to come on the show.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, she's an advocate for the Louis Body Foundation, and we'll talk more about that. She gives scholarships, awards out to students in schools. I want to thank Nash Cargo, Avi Ram. You know, this guy, he blindly just said, Ashaay. He met me at an event and he's like, Ashaay, I need you and Terry Gadras to do a song. I'll sponsor, I'll pay for everything. I'll do everything. But you know, you have things going on.
Of course.
He's blindly sponsored my music. I want to thank Steven Adventures from Kissimmee, Florida, Bling Bling Jewelries guy. He does all the grills for the teeth and make you look rough and that kind of stuff. He did my Ashaay chain also. I want to thank the man from Ohio, the man, Mr. Kumar Tulshi, and his loving family with Ohio Auto Body. He's another guy that's amazing, sponsored my music. I want to thank Team Ashaay, Teddy Ali. I want to thank DJ Kevin Bass from New York. He does all my social media stuff and thing. And I want to thank my wife. I want to thank the angels that are around me. Thank God. Thank my mom. Because everybody are very, very instrumental in making me, you know. As I say, I do the work and, you know, make sure I do my best. The rest, I want to thank all my friends and all my family and all my fans, because I'm here to represent, and I'm here to represent so that our culture will always be one that is loved. And I don't want to isolate. I don't want anybody to isolate anything and make it about enemy or make it about this one better than that one. Everyone's different. Let's add it together and become best. Let's don't try to pull anybody down, because we'll reach nowhere in life. But I can guarantee one thing, that Ashaay Manu will continue to try, as long as I have health and strength, to give the best that I can. And look out for my music coming soon. Thank you so much, Dr. Narine.
Awesome, amazing. While you were speaking, though, there is one question that comes to mind. You mentioned about when you perform on stage, you know, you don't feel the need to drink, you know, or anything of that sort, which is great. Where the heck do you find those people from, though? Because those people are hard to find.
I know it's something that people don't like to hear me talk about, but because this is my platform today, I think I'm able to share anything.
Yeah.
It's not something that I don't do it in such a way that it comes across arrogant, or I don't think that I'm better than anybody. In fact, I think everyone's better than I am, because I want to give them that encouragement to be that way. You know, and how could I thank everybody and not thank John from Queens, man? You know, how could I not thank John from Queens?
And he just posted up, so I'm not calling you, but he just posted up information regarding your video
Oh
and
my
so
God.
forth. But thank you so much for doing that. Go ahead, continue on. You're doing well.
John from Queens, so amazing. He has helped so many artists. He has done everything, and he has sponsored music. He sponsored the Sanahadil video for me also. So it's like, I was just fortunate that when I got on, that these people gravitated towards me and helped me bring out the best. And John, you're definitely one of those guys.
All right,
Definitely.
Awesome. So do know we'll have you back on here, so have no fear here. I have to also give a special hello to Ken Rampersad. Thank you so much, Ken. Airs, a talk show as well on Mondays. So for those of you who are watching and listening, keep an eye out for that as well too. He airs that show on Island Grill Radio, so something to kind of keep in mind. So stay right there, don't go anywhere. So my dear fellow listeners and viewers, as we are officially approaching the end of tonight's program, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for tuning in to the Dr. Narine Dat Show. On behalf of myself and our special guest here tonight, Ashaay, very talented and down-to-earth individual, both of us would like to join together and wish you a great today and even a better tomorrow. We'll see you again soon.